Hello, everybody, and welcome to a chat with where we basically have a conversation with one of our members. Samantha, I'm getting hand signals from our guest here today. Can you hear me? Okay.
Hello, Gareth. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
You know, I couldn't hear you just.
That was weird, isn't it? Oh, right.
I can hear you now, though. Anyway.
I could. Yeah, that was weird. That was. So I was talking to nobody. Hello, everybody. Could you hear me, Mick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird. So, okay, I'll try again. So, hi, everybody, and welcome to a chat with where we have a chat with one of our Video Creator Club members. And this month, it's with Brett Sheldon from Your Business World. So, how are you, Brett?
I'm very well, thanks, Gareth. Yourself?
I can't complain. No bugger listens if you do, anyway.
No, exactly. Mind.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And of course, Mick is joining us in the dark. You look a bit dark there, Mick. I'll have to get you your new camera.
Sun's coming out.
Bought him a present, look. Brand new C920, look. Oh, you can't wait, could you? Yeah?
That's it through.
Oh, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? So Brett, Your Business World. And how is that going? How is it all ticking over? You know, what kind of things are you up to?
It's going really, really well. I mean, as you know, we had a basically a rebrand and a restructure, but a little bit about a month and a half ago. It's been phenomenally well received by our members, which is great. And so basically, I really can't complain. In terms of what we do, it's a case of we're supporting business owners. That through events, consultancy, mentoring, ideas, inspiration, connections. The new members hub is going there. And by the way, the dog started attacking me again. You know when they always say on video, never ever deal with basically work with children or animals.
Don't work with children or animals. Yeah. There you go. Feed me. It's a Labrador, so it's always hungry.
Well, yeah. Saw from the pictures where he decided to eat the office the other day.
Yeah.
And also decided to eat my Oakley sunglasses.
Yeah. So that rebrand, by the way, I gotta say, right, at the end of the day, I have never met somebody so stressed be so happy. You were the most happiest stressed person I've ever met. You know, because every time I talked to Brett when he was going through the rebranding and doing all the work that he had to do and the website and the circle club bits and all the rest of it, he was always still really happy. You know what I mean? I interrupt Mick when he's editing and I get growled at. You know what I mean?
Northerner, that's why.
But yeah, it was amazing. So what are you doing now with Your Business World and everything else? You know, what's the new stuff? What have we got to look forward to?
The new stuff. What is the new stuff as members? Well, the biggest thing is the focus on the members rather than me and what we were doing before. So the advent of that members hub is so members can self-serve. So it means I can then serve even better. So the biggest areas we're working on at the moment are things like how can we help members gain more business, better, easier, cheaper, make it slicker, introductory methods. You know, Gareth, I mean, Mick probably doesn't know this. I actually grew my business on basically how can we develop referral and introduce business strategies. And that now we're teaching other people basically as part of their membership. And some areas are very early days, but the feedback we're getting is unreal. I mean, even the likes of Lee Baker, for instance, how much can I tell with somebody who's had some support through what we're doing compared to somebody who's not? So things like how to not pitch to people, but how to win business easier, how to engage better online. It's unreal. But a lot of it now is about how can we make this now self-serve along with our support, which is a game changer. I don't know any other organisation how they're doing it. There's loads of great organisations, some brilliant independents, but they're just not going to this level of what can be done. People are just running events or whichever. And that's obviously that's the reason why I joined, obviously, your Video Creators Club, because we know the video is a huge part of what we do, basically increasing our service offering, not only to our members, but also the wider business community, which in turn helps us as well. So
So you personally do online networking. I love your events, by the way. I think they're absolutely fantastic because
great answer to come off and chat with very quickly. They
take themselves too seriously. And it is about getting to know people rather than just like going and doing your 60-second pitch and listening to other people's 60-second pitches.
A lot of that got developed on the fly during COVID. Poppy, come on. Basically, when COVID hit and the whole world... Sorry, apologies anybody watching this, but I'm being attacked by the dog all the while. At least we know it's real, Gareth. It's a case of we're in a nice palatial bed somewhere.
Yeah.
It's so when the world went absolutely crazy, obviously during COVID, for good reason, we got the community together really, really well. So I never even heard of Zoom. And do you remember the first Monday before we got locked down properly on the 23rd? That first Monday where his Boris just went on stage and said, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got a dodgy ticket, you just not go out anywhere. And if you're at home because you'll die. Yeah. And then we said, by the way, everybody else, if you can work from home a little bit, that'd help us out immensely. Well, we figured out what was happening and mid down that day because we were due to hold an event on the Thursday. And the golf club where we were due to hold it, literally we confirmed everything. I think it was about 11 o'clock. 11:30, they rang me back saying, by the way, Brett, we just confirmed everything. We've got to cancel it. We've been ordered to shut our doors by their own governing body. Right. And we put two and two together going, oh my God, we're going to be locked down. Because there's a lot of talk about, will we be locked down? No, it can't happen. How can the country cope, etc. And I went to my speaker, literally once again, half an hour before I'd spoken to confirm everything. I said, by the way, we can't run the event it was the Thursday after. And he said, put it on Zoom. And I went, what do you mean put it on Zoom? The only thing I've ever, what do you mean? The only thing I know called Zoom is an ice lolly. I said, what the heck are you on about? Right. No, it's like a webinar type. I said, that can't work. I've been on webinars. He said, no, you'll figure it out. And we got the community working really well. We just got people together. Yeah. I didn't know what button to press or anything like that. James, what do I press now? It was like, and it just worked. And as a community, we just got together and we discussed stuff. And then the members went, we started to go networking this. What you've done is great, but how can we create interaction? Yeah. We want to be able to interact like we're in a room and pressing palms and drinking coffee and talking rubbish. How can we do that online? And the meet and greet, that got developed off the back of that. I've tried to figure out how to, don't get me wrong, it was trial and error. I actually planned a different kind of event and we had a load of cancellation because of, I can't remember what announcement, it was a big announcement. And we had sometimes the cancellation go, oh my God, we have nobody there. So I couldn't run. I was going to run it like, the business breakfasts or the mini masterminds, as we call them these days.
Yeah.
I was going to run a big version of that.
Right.
And literally, by the time we better start with the same numbers as we would do for a normal one. So I can't try that. So I ad-libbed and put this thing in with breakout rooms. Now we went, that thing you were planning, Brett, was rubbish. But that thing you ad-libbed was brilliant. Can we do more of that?
Yeah. Okay. It's amazing. The first time I ever went, I was really impressed because it was like, you do go to some of these thinking to yourself, okay, what's it going to be like? I've been on particular ones where you go along and it's the loudest person shouts, gets the talking in and all the rest of it. But I will say from our perspective, Clockwork Guy, I was doing a lot of face-to-face networking beforehand and all the rest of it. Now, I did know about Zoom because a chap called Andrew Gibson, who is a client of ours, basically he had introduced me to it prior to lockdown and that. But I used to love my face-to-face, I'd go over to Burnley, I'd go to Leeds and go to Bradford and all the rest of it. But I've got to say, online networking has really changed the game for us, especially when it comes to promoting the club. Because at the end of the day, when we do productions, we kind of stick to Yorkshire. We have travelled with London, Lord's Cricket Ground, and been down south and all the rest of it. But
we've even been to Lancashire.
We even took Mick over to Lancashire. He held his breath.
It's completely changed our business as well. It's the reason why we had the restructure and the rebrand, or one of the reasons.
Yeah.
I never even knew about this way of working. I used to hate being on camera. I don't mind this kind of thing, but it's completely changed the way of working.
Yeah. It has. It's the thing is, I think the technology was there when we went into lockdown and to make us realize that we're not geographically contained anymore, and we can go further afield.
But it's been used for years in corporate life.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a member, and he used to work for BT, and he used to run a team of 2,000 people.
Yeah.
That he'd never met. And he used to run it, and everything was done through video conference. A lot of it was they had staff in Philippines and India and things like that. And he'd never ever met them. And in corporates, they've been using video conferencing for years and years and years. Because you go to the nice boardrooms, the swivelly camera on there, and the big screens up, and they've got the funny like conferencing microphones and speakers. But it was the preserve of big businesses.
Yeah.
Small businesses can never do it. There was a challenge though. With big businesses, or even when we did Skype with family and loved ones and things like that, or was it WhatsApp messages and things like this, the connection was already built. If you're already working for the same company, you've got the common ground.
Yeah.
Nobody had ever used it for networking, to build relationships from scratch. It's a massive evolution. Even there's still a problem with it. There's almost like a stigma attached to it, because people are thinking it's something that it's not. Well, it's a bit like you told me. Video is just a method of basically. It's just a medium.
It's just a medium. Yeah.
And networking, people, it's not about selling or anything like that. It's just it's the first stage of building a relationship.
Exactly.
Understand what that is, and then from my perspective, it's actually quite easy. I just build the events around what's required. Of how can I get you guys to talk better? That's why the meeting group is give you stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Except I'm a little bit braver, so sometimes we'll put topics a little close to the knuckle, and we'll just let things go wrong as well.
Yeah.
That's where the fun happens. If something goes off on a tangent, just run with it. What's the worst that's going to happen?
Exactly. Exactly. It's amazing. You know, you say there about video conferencing was like for large corporations. When we first started out doing Clockwork Eye, basically our strapline was video should be for everyone. And part of the reason why we put the Video Creators Club together was quite simply because a lot of people still see video as being out of their depth and out of their reach financially and all the rest of it. So, but why not create your own? And it is that same mentality, like you say. We broke the back of this now. Video conferencing for just big corporations, not anymore. It's for everyone.
Well, that's it. I mean, in terms of, every computer's got a webcam on it, pretty much.
Yeah.
Zoom came in. I think Zoom was the one thing that really changed it because of the price point. Was it including the VAT about 14, 15 quid?
Yeah, something like 15 quid. Yeah.
I mean, we've got a better setup with most. So we've got external microphones and speakers and cameras. And we used to joke about my camera, weren't we? Like, so I used to use a hedge or things like that. I've now got a £70 webcam.
Yeah.
And this probably still will work with other things I've got off the back of it. But it's a microphone, about 120 quid, 70 quid webcam that I use every day. My speakers were about 35 quid. As long as you've got a computer that's quick enough to deal with it, which people do, you can have a really good setup for 200 quid.
Yeah.
Really, really good setup.
Yeah.
Even down to things like backdrop. You've got, like I say, Gareth, your backdrop, isn't it? It's a roller banner.
It's a roller banner, yeah. I'm cheating. It's actually just a 2 meter by 2 meter roller banner with nothing printed on it.
But mine, I'm okay. So I'm in the small bedroom. Should the dogs just decide to come in and leave the door open? But yeah, it's a 2 meter by 1.8 meter bedroom. We should this and just use the camera angles accordingly to try and create a bit of depth in the room.
Exactly.
They're thinking about it.
It's one of the things we do when you consider it. You just set up your environment. I mean, Mick's environment there is basically the equipment that we use when we're out doing productions and stuff.
Yeah.
But his webcam is quite poor, hence the new present. Yeah.
I'd just get him a light or get him.
Have you got your light on?
Got it.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
It's really dark. I think it's that webcam.
Because that window's so bright, the iris shuts down.
It's that webcam, innit? It's rubbish.
It doesn't help.
Yeah. So we need to. We made the decision as well that let's get him a decent one, because we're doing these live streams. But as you say, that was 60 quid, 60, 70 quid, something like that. Yeah. And that's a really good HD 30 frames a second webcam. So you can't really go wrong. Going back to networking.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you prefer then? In person to person or Zoom?
What's the criteria?
Oh, do you see? Well, I tell you what, that leads me very nicely onto the videos that you're making.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gareth. Right, I actually like both. I was a networking tart. I'd turn to the opening of an envelope, basically.
Right.
I still do now. So I still like the in-person, interaction. But then again, though, these days I'm now stuck in a 2 meters by 1.8 meter room. My wife messaged me earlier saying, "Oh, by the way, I've got to go to a meeting on Wednesday. Do I need the car?" And I've checked my diary. I don't need the car for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Means I don't have to work with socks on for that period of time, which is great. It's like I wear shorts and polo shirts to work now instead of having to buy a shirt again. So yeah, I like the in-person events. From a pure business perspective of interacting with as many people as I can, I prefer online, hands down.
Yeah.
I interact with more people online. It's easier, it's more convenient, it's quicker. Because I know the game, I can actually build better relationships quicker.
Yeah.
And also I can, even though I'm not in control of it, I've run through before about what I believe the differences between in-person and online networking, and it's all to do with control.
Yeah.
I know that, and I use this, what I call the Robinson Crusoe effect. In other words, use everything you can at your disposal for whatever you can use it for. I don't care why something washed up on the beach. Can you use it for something? Yeah, use it for whatever you can. Because of that, I can work quicker online.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for us geographically, I prefer online. I am going to start back to some face-to-face, but we're a bit limited around here. Bradford and Leeds. There's a few things, but I don't want to go back to BNI, even though that's still online. And Foreign kind of died a death around near me, so I'm going to have to do some research and to go back to some face-to-face. But yeah, going back to what you say, the criteria, because you've started doing video reviews, haven't you, on networking events that you're going to?
Trying to cause a bit of
ballsy.
Of course, I think. It's why ballsy, Gareth? I think it's just.
I'll be really honest with you. I love the idea. Yeah, I was saying to Mick. Yeah, I think it's gutsy because, quite simply, obviously you're going out and you are critiquing somebody.
Yeah.
We do it with our members in the video and everything, but when you have your onboarding session, we tell you how brutal we are. But I thought, you know what, going out and doing that. But then I thought, from the other side of the coin, brilliant. It's brilliant because, quite simply, you could find yourself in a position where you're actually getting invited to go and review and all the rest of it. And the ones who don't really want you there are the ones that know that they're doing it badly.
Or consider we're competition, which we're not.
Yeah.
How the idea came about because of a couple of things. The first one is, come on, Gareth, you know me, Mick, you know me a little bit. How many times a day do you reckon I'm asked, what's the best networking event to go to? What's the best way to do this? What's the best way to...
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. I'm getting fed up of being asked the same question every 20 minutes. And I thought, well, you know what? If enough people are asking me about this, there might be something in this. The second one is that I get the number of events I've been to. I'm in a lucky situation, Gareth. I've been networking now for 15 years. I've been doing it for such a long while now. I can't turn it off. Right. But there's that many people who are networking badly. It's just thinking, I'm going to say badly. It's not their fault. They just don't know any better. And it's confusion. So if I can give a few tips, and if you're going to this event, if I was you, make sure you take this with you, that with you. Leave that at home. You don't need this. This is what you're going to be expecting. I mean, there's nothing worse going somewhere. And, okay, I'm going to use BNI as the example. So the standard BNI format, you do a 60-second introduction, an elevator pitch. And they sound that, it's going to be a really, really busy one today. You've only got 30 seconds. That throws people off so much. It is unreal. Why can't we just do something around that and just explain to people, if you go to this event, if it was me, I'd stand over there, I'd have a look at this, I would take this with me, I wouldn't do that. It's a really casual event. If you're going to wear a suit, Gareth, back from your, you used to play rugby, didn't you? Was it rugby you used to play?
Well, yeah, badly, but yeah.
So have you ever turned up to a sportsman dinner as being the only person in a tuxedo?
No, I can't say I have.
I have.
Right.
It was just like, hang on a sec, it's a sportsman dinner, you wear a tuxedo. And there was me and my boss at the time. How much of a pillock do you reckon we felt? We could have been part of the waiting staff, but he was like, but how many times do people go network feel completely knocking out their depth, but also people naturally are shy. It's difficult to help with it. But also it's a great way of publicising other events to other people, because just log on. Here's a whole list of events I've been to, and I'll tell you when they are. So no downside to it. There is downside, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, I've had conversations with lecturers and stuff from universities and colleges where talking about business courses, and I've always said that they should have a module on how to network. Because there's, like you say, there's so many people who go out there and actually don't know what they're doing. Yeah. But so now you're member of the Video Creators Club. Yep. You're creating your video content. Yeah. So basically, how are you editing? How are you finding that kind of the technical side of it?
The editing bit. It's I'm getting better. I'm getting quicker. I use iMovie. So I'm a Mac user. I know you got all the Android users, but they're just not the cool kids. I'm a Mac user, so I use iMovie. I know it's got limitations, but it's free software I've got. I find it quite easy once you figure out how to use the shortcuts. So Command B is my favourite button in the world for going through and making the cuts. Creating the graphics, I use Canva. So I create them in Canva, and then there's that much audio resource in there already. It's great. It takes a bit of time. It takes longer to edit than just to record it. But I'm quite used to it now. I'm looking forward to go to that next level.
You're finding you're speeding up a bit now the more you do?
I'm getting faster because I know how I'm doing the cutting. Do all the cutting in one go. Creating the graphics, I'll create a batch in one go and drag them all in and drop them in. One of the issues I have is every time I put them into iMovie, any graphics, it creates something called a Ken Burns thing. Which it's like how it fades in or fades in. iMovie is very limited in terms of what I can do with it, but it's got some really great features in there already, like some of the transitions and things. Try not to do anything too silly with it. But I'm also keen to start looking at now. This is a much bigger part of what our business is going to be. I'm keen to look at things like Final Cut Pro because I can layer lots more things. So it's understanding. People put graphics in. All it is putting an overlay on it. It's a bit like taking a picture and putting something else on it. That's all it is, and it's as simple as that. And it's I'm enjoying it. If I'm honest, starting the editing stuff. That was my biggest fear.
Really,
because I wasn't sure how to do it. It's one of those things. Going, well, you can tell a good edit, and I'd like to listen to your advice. So the one I still remember now is when you told me about it was under the BSO guys, about the cup of tea sketch.
Oh, yeah.
He said, right, make it snappy. Like, is it, what's the film? Snatch. Right, 5 seconds. I was explaining this to somebody at an event the other day. They thought I was a video god.
Brilliant.
The stuff you told me, it's brilliant. How fast can you make it? And that's the reason why I put that short on there and things like that. When I sped everything up. But thinking about, I'm just going to have fun with it now. It doesn't really
matter. That's one of the things that we keep saying to people is it's not as scary as what you think it is, and you can have fun with it. And once you start getting your head around stuff, it's not as daunting. And like you say, you know, it's just layers of stuff. A bit of text goes in, it's just a layer, and it just gets compressed in.
Yeah, the harder bit now is, believe it or not, I'm actually now starting to write mini scripts for me now.
Oh, wow.
And using the highly technical approach of actually putting OBS in the middle of my screen quite small and sellotaping it to the other side of the screen. So I'm actually only looking at that rather than keep going down like this other one.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at it. However,
Yeah.
I need your advice on this. You know these movie actors, right? You know, when they start a film for like two hours or 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that because I'd have to start at the beginning of the film and go all the way through the film to the end, and then stop, and then hopefully we got it right in the middle. Because I can't. I'm still having problems of trying to do that bit. But I believe it's called practice. Is that right?
Pretty much. Well, Mick, do you remember the last week when we were filming at the Leeds Clinic where we were training?
Out of order, and they couldn't get their head around it, could they? So we shot it, and I literally went with my phone and I edited on CapCut, which is like a mobile phone editing thing. And within half an hour, I showed them, and they were like blown away, weren't they?
Yeah, it was mad because there was 5 stages to it, and we filmed stage 1, 3, and 5 from the same angle, and then we filmed 2 from another angle and 4 from another angle.
Yeah, well,
so we literally went 1, 3, 5, 4, 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, and then Mick jigged it all around and put it in, and they were like, "That's amazing."
Yeah. In a couple of weeks, the garden's done, so we've got a bigger space to go and record. So patios and astroturf laid because the dog's just ripping apart the garden, right? As well as my office, she's ripping apart. She also rips apart the garden. So we're having all that done. So we'll have a nice outdoor space to go and record in as well as other.
Yeah.
So that's the bit I'm going to be keen on perhaps doing and playing around with location.
So in the club, in the documentation, you can download basically it's a planner.
Okay.
Right. And in the planner, you write your script.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you put the script in one side, and then you got your shot list the other side. So then you know what shots you need. So what you're doing is you're creating on paper the shots. Yeah. So you can download that in the club, in the library.
That right smile, because you're gonna have to show me where it is, because I don't go through it.
So basically, right, I'll email it to you.
I did a course. I did, honest. I didn't do part 2 of the course, but I did the course.
Good. Well, that's what they're there for. Even if you use them as a reference. But yeah, if you plan it like that on paper, then when it comes to filming, you know what you need to do.
Right.
So if, for example, you've got several external shots, then you would do them all at the same time.
Okay.
So you base then what you needed on location. So you've done it all out in paper, and you know that you got external here, external here, external here, external there. Yeah, all in the same external location, right? They'll all be filmed at the same time, and that's all it is. It's just planning. You're building a jigsaw. All you've got to do is put the pieces together afterwards. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, these networking reviews, we've already got another 3 events which I've already been to, so I've got my notes.
Good.
Of those, I've got to record my review. That was the beauty of it, is that I can actually do the review after the event. So I'm in my diary now saying, right, this is going to be video creation time, this is going to be editing time and things such as that. So we can actually I've already done it. I've ironed 4 polo shirts for later. So well, I'm not being funny, but I was wearing a polo shirt earlier, and I thought, look at that, I'm wearing the same polo shirt here that what I did to the videos last week. So if anybody goes and checks the video from last week, thinking, I'm wearing the same blinking polo shirt, I'm thinking, well, I've now just got an iron wrist, all I've got to do is change my top and go and record it against something slightly different. I've got the TV behind me, so I can drop something on there if I need to, or whatever. There's so many things that can be done. It's they're actually really easy to make as well now. It's a case of recording it because I've got the format. It's not difficult to create a 8 to 10, even though the last one was 13 minutes, because I had a lot to review and a lot of tips to give. It was easy. It's quite easy for me to do now. I'm getting used to it, even though I'm only a couple in, and I've already got other events I want to go and try out to see what they're like.
Yeah.
So no, I'm looking forward to it.
Good stuff. It's brilliant. I've just put a link to your website in the thing. Yes, mate.
Just saying busy.
Yeah.
It is. Actually, was it yourself who asked me, so what happens if I go to an event and I don't like it?
Well, yeah. Well, there's a chat, right? So there's a. I think you've got to be honest, yeah. There's a chap called Mark. I think it's Zuck. They call it. They abbreviate. He's got a really
Is that the one?
long Polish surname, and he did wines. Yeah, and he got in. He's a big public speaker now and business motivator and stuff. But he got started because his parents' wine shop was failing. So he said, "I'll make 1,000 videos on wine reviews." And you expect this guy. It's a wine review, so you expect, oh, hello there, I'd like to talk to you about Sauvignon Blanc and all the rest of it. And you get this guy from Brooklyn who goes, hey, guys, how's it going? You know, and it's like, Jesus Christ. But he's honest. And that's the thing. Because he's honest, people are like, oh, right. But he doesn't just rip certain wines apart. He's constructively honest. You know, I don't like it, but if you like a drier, fruitier wine, then maybe you would, type thing.
Yeah.
So he's not completely brutal.
Yeah. There's
that
one event, which I know is going to be an absolute car crash, and it's actually a very big name player in the market as well. And I've got to, if anybody's watching from this organisation, please contact my lawyer at. And I know their events are terrible. They're not proper events. It's a pitch veiled as an event. Thinking, right, I've got to be careful with this one, because all they're going to do is to go there and say, right, I know exactly what's happening where, but this is what I would do to make use of it. There's still a lot of, am I brave enough to do it? Yeah, of course I am.
I think I know the organisation. I'm not going to say it.
Organisation at all, but it's a case of. But I'm still going to do it. It's a case of. And there's also some new events as well. There's actually one which I've supported for ages, for 10 years. Last 6 months have been dying a death, and I've already had a chat. I mean, pre-COVID, these were completely free in-person events. It was the one event I used to put in my calendar for the entire year.
Okay.
And before and after, and always stay an hour after and help wherever I could. I've been a big supporter of it for about 10 years, and it's dying a death. So I had a chat with the organizer saying, look, you need to be able to do something here, but you've got to adapt to where it is. I don't embarrass them at the moment by going, right, I've just reviewed an absolutely awful one. Look, I'll help you get the numbers up a little bit, and I'll re-review it here. Or if I do review it and it's awful, I'll mention exactly what it used to be before and where it could work. It's those. I think it'll develop over time. But I've also been asked. I had a request from one of our members as well, actually saying, "Can I do a video on some tips on networking? I can get better value across the board." So that's what I've got penned for later on today as well.
That'd be really good. That'd be really good. Well, brilliant. I mean, it's nice to see that you're active. It's nice to see that you're cracking on with using video and stuff like that. And I put a link into your website, into the chat on both LinkedIn and on the other channels as well. I've also put a link in if anybody's interested in the Video Creators Club, finding out more. But
can you put a link to our YouTube channel, Gareth?
Yeah, okay. You talk amongst yourselves while I find it.
Yeah. I emailed you earlier in the.
Oh, you did, didn't you, for the competition?
Competition, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you know what? You know when I said that there was no entries.
Somebody else come in there.
Why do you think I said there's no entries? Because everybody's entered.
But I've worked.
It's
you know that.
I'm
not worried about.
There we go.
It's that competitive a person as I am, I'm not really worried about winning it. It's I'm just trying to get the channel as good as I can.
Yeah, get out there.
So where did you say you sent me the link? Where did you send me the link?
I emailed you earlier saying basically
You emailed me earlier saying it's now ready for entry to the competition. No link.
Who's link?
And then the next one that you sent
Did you
me,
not go through that?
the next one you sent me said, I don't want to win that way, lol. That's after my email saying nobody's entered. And you still didn't include the
No, it
link.
has got the link. I've got the thing here. Hang on.
I'll find it because I'm subscribed.
I was going to say, I'll just WhatsApp it, you know. Here we go. Done. Here you go. I'll WhatsApp to you. From the email I sent you. There you go.
Did you? Oh, anyway, I found it anyway. Oh, good use of hashtag. I'm already reviewing. So yes, I will put that into your. There we are. So
Joe's jumped on now. Actually, it's one of Joe's events. Is one of the ones I'm reviewing later on today. Joe's networking event.
Oh, brilliant! You're going networking with Joe.
Oh, I went networking with Joe around Ironbridge. It was lovely.
Hi, Joe. See, that's weird because I can see your comment in there. There's a comment there, but I can't see it in the LinkedIn feed. How bizarre. Oh, well, how very odd. Well, you joined us just as we're about to wrap up, Joe. So,
if you want.
and then she puts that one up. Yeah. So that was the walk in the woods then.
Yeah. There was other people. It wasn't just me and Joe. It was other people there as well. There was about 11, 12 of us there. It was really good. It's the first I've heard of networking for ages. And I went there to see what Joe's doing, give Joe my support anyway. But I thought, it's a good idea to see how networking works. Because we did it at, the Snowdon trips we've had lately. When we did the training walks for that, way before COVID, when that story first started, what happened is because people were together for a longer period of time and helping each other on different walks, etc., the conversations themselves changed. It no longer became about work. And when we went up first time, so that on that picture over there, there was about 14 of us on that. Because we were actually on that mountain for 7 hours, and on that particular time, you can't talk shop for that amount of time. And people became people again. It was and the friendships and the conversation that developed off the back of it, I know, are now continuing even further along that. And even on the last one, where we had that crazy challenge to go and do it in 4 hours or less, which we did, which was great. I've got bits of video for that, but I'm going to have to go and do it again, Gareth. I'm going to have to do it in 3.5 hours because I'm not happy. No, I'm not happy with the video content, but I can't do, can we get a fat kid up and down Snowdon in 4 hours or less? Because I now know we can do that. It's a case of, so we'll have to change the time. I don't know, pick a different mountain.
Pick a different mountain, yeah.
We're back in Wales again this weekend, Gareth. We're going to Cadair Idris this time.
You're going to be an honorary member of this group.
They won't let me that long.
Oh, brilliant! Well, you should travel up north to England's highest hill. Oh, because you haven't got any mountains.
I can go to Scotland as well, but last time I went there, it wasn't really brilliant because that's when I got married. Not
all right.
Not to my now wife, but to the previous Mrs. Emma Sheldon. We got married in Scotland, so I have to be careful of that one now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's interesting, but yeah, Scafell Pike, I believe, is the tallest hill in England.
It is.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I've climbed up it a few times myself, I must admit. Anyway, well, I suppose thanks for joining us a little late, Joe, and thank you to the people who were watching. Thank you for joining us, and basically that's it. We will catch you later. Should we have a play out tune? That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? We'll have to make one, Mick. Yeah. Anyway, cheers then. Bye.
See ya.